What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. For those of you new to the channel, my name is Vince Warburton and this is VW Fitness. I do fitness tech, supplement reviews, and lifestyle videos every single week. If that is something you're interested in, make sure you hit that subscribe and bell for notifications. Now, today's video is going to be a little bit different, guys. I kind of pitched this, I proposed it. I said that I was going to talk about ingredients a little bit more. I was going to kind of be more informational, educational when it comes to some of the videos. And this kind of starts my 5-video series that's going to lead up until my top 5 pre-workouts of 2019. I'm pretty much done reviewing any pre-workout. I've pretty much finished everything that I have received. I potentially might do 1 or 2 more by the end of the year. It just kind of depends. But as of right now, I'm kind of just finished. I've done so many different pre-workouts. I'm ready to take a little bit of a stim break. And, you know, I wanted to do this series where I could talk a little bit more about specific ingredients, kind of my favorite ingredients and what I look for in pre-workouts, and then kind of lead up to the top 5 pre-workout video that will be coming, obviously, 5 videos from now. So today, as you guys clicked on it, we are talking about L-Citrulline, and I talk about that a ton on the channel. You know, this conversation is going to be a little bit different, guys. I'm not really going to like break it down into 3 different parts. It's not really like a beginning, middle, and end when it comes to L-Citrulline. I'm just going to kind of inform you, kind of educate you, and bring my best knowledge to the table so that you guys might be able to take away something from what L-Citrulline actually does. Obviously, we could talk about L-Citrulline, basically just say that it is a nitric oxide booster. It basically helps with vasodilation, the very simple layers of what an ingredient in a supplement will do. But let's break that down even further. Let's talk a little bit more about that. L-Citrulline is basically a non-essential amino acid. What that means is basically the body naturally does produce its own citrulline. Now, obviously, we can increase our amount of citrulline within the body by obviously consuming more L-Citrulline within, you know, our foods, and also obviously by supplementing. L-Citrulline was originally founded by actually through watermelon, which is obviously one of the best sources of L-Citrulline that you can get naturally without supplementing it. That's kind of how I came upon it. That's why I've always kind of been a fan of watermelon, not because of the L-Citrulline, but you know, after learning a little bit more about watermelon, obviously the majority of watermelon is water, and kind of learning about the amino acids within watermelon, that's kind of how this whole ingredient was found. Once you take L-Citrulline, what's going to happen is it's going to get ingested, it's going to get broken down, and it's going to be converted into another amino acid also known as arginine. Now, I personally took a lot of arginine years ago, about 10 years ago, kind of when supplementation was still growing, still kind of evolving, and there was a lot of research and mixed research, and a lot of things were underdosed. I mean, back then, scoop sizes were like 5 grams for a pre-workout. It was kind of crazy. And I took a lot of arginine. I felt like it actually did work. My veins were pretty vasodilated and open. I could see them through, you know, my skin, etc. And it's kind of interesting that citrulline took over because it is more bioavailable and it obviously is not flushed as much as kind of what the research says. And so what happens is basically once it's converted into arginine, it gets created into this molecule nitric oxide. What nitric oxide obviously does is it helps with widening the blood vessels and creating that vasodilation. It also relieves high blood pressure, which is obviously a kind of health tip there, and one of those things that, you know, the research does show that. Obviously, I'm not a doctor, guys. I'm not saying that citrulline is the cure-all, guys, when it comes to high blood pressure or anything like that. So, you know, I want to make sure I'm very clear when I talk about all these kind of ingredients as we talk about it over the next few days. And I'm very clear that I am not a doctor here, and I'm not prescribing or saying that if you take L-Citrulline, it's going to cure everything. By no means am I saying that. I'm just kind of giving you the research, giving you guys some information, and hopefully, you know, educate you guys more on what you guys are actually taking, because I think that too many times we just kind of buy stuff off the shelf, we get flashy marketing, we just trust that it's safe to ingest, we trust that it's an efficacious dose, and it's not, and then we end up wasting our money or basically just throwing it away. Because obviously with vasodilation, with the widening of the blood vessels, that's going to increase nutrient delivery, that's going to increase oxygen delivery to, you know, the working muscles, which is obviously a very good thing for what we're looking for while we're working out. You know, you're putting a lot of strain. At the end of the day, guys, the reason why we're looking for a pre-workout is because we are literally tearing our muscles apart, and we're trying to help with the regrowth. We're trying to help with the, you know, mind-muscle connection, etc. In this case, it is helping with those things that we're trying to accomplish. you know, when we're working out arms, when we're working out chest, any muscle part really, it's gonna help with that. So, you know, obviously like we kind of talked about, guys, the bioavailability of taking citrulline, it is absorbed more into the body rather than just taking arginine. A lot of the arginine supplements tend to just get flushed out, where citrulline has to get broken down, is converted into arginine, and then is converted into that nitric oxide, which is obviously gonna help with the vasodilation, widening of the blood vessels, etc. And that, I think, is the really important thing here. And that is why I highly recommend that you take L-Citrulline, or you look for L-Citrulline when it comes to your pre-workouts. So let's talk about dosage, guys. Studies have kind of shown that between 3 and 4 grams a day shows healthy benefits of citrulline. So obviously on the channel, I talk about between 4 and 6. And the reason why I kind of push higher levels, and obviously for me personally, I'm taking 9 grams of citrulline. And a lot of you are gonna think, damn, that's crazy. Vince, you're nuts. You're throwing your money away. Obviously, your body's not going to utilize all that. It's just kind of been one of those things I've always done. And I do sip on it throughout the day. It's not like I'm taking, you know, 4.5 grams all at once and then 4.5 grams later in the afternoon. Like, I drink it with my HydroCharge. I drink it through the workout, etc. And I personally feel like it actually works, especially when you take it consistently over a long duration of time. I think that the body actually reacts better. I think that my vasodilation has increased. You know, that was kind of interesting with arginine, is that when I did take it, you know, I was taking the BSN nitrix. I still remember it. I was taking like 9 pills a day. And, you know, it took a few months before I really started to see really good results. And I think that's obviously because, you know, the bioavailability of arginine just wasn't as good as citrulline. And now that I'm here and I've been taking citrulline for a few years now, consistently, pretty much every day, whether I work out or I don't, I just kind of really like it. I like it for the benefits that I personally feel. I do feel like, you know, I don't have high blood pressure. I've obviously gone to the doctor, and everything with my blood pressure and everything there is completely normal. I don't have any issues with, you know, well, we'll just say it, erectile dysfunction. This has been shown to help with erectile dysfunction if you do have any sort of those sort of issues. I've heard of people taking citrulline and it helping them tremendously. So a lot of great benefits here, guys, not just, you know, working out in the gym and that sort of stuff. But, you know, the other thing here is recommendation in terms of when you should take L-Citrulline is about 15 to 30 minutes before your workout. Obviously, intra-workout I think is really good too. For me personally, again, I take it throughout the day. I take it first thing in the morning and I take it later in the afternoon, sometimes when I work out. I love to take this when I travel, guys. I think citrulline helps with that, especially on long duration of flights. You know, I think that personally citrulline helps me with my jet lag. It helps with just overall well-being. I think personally, you know, everyone needs to do their own research. By you guys watching this video, you're doing some research. Obviously, I'm not, you know, Professor Vince here, but I try to bring you guys as much information as I possibly can without getting too like crazy into the science and how it all breaks down in the molecules and timing and those sort of things. Obviously, like, I'm not a research scientist here. I just try to bring you guys, you know, as much education as I possibly can. So that's kind of my personal thoughts on citrulline, guys. That's some education on citrulline and kind of how it works. You know, if you guys have questions, make sure you leave a comment below. Email me, vince@vwfitness.club. Also, make sure you guys grab some of those samples, because like I said, we're kind of done with pre-workouts. And honestly, I have so many products that you guys really should be snagging some free samples. All you got to pay is shipping. I did figure out the shipping costs. It is lower. I don't know if you guys were on the site, you know, when I first launched. I know the shipping costs were really high, and so just disclaiming that I have figured out the first class shipping, and it is a lot cheaper, roughly around $5. We ship those out. If you guys place your order before 3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, it will go out the same day, and we'll get those in the mail. You get a tracking number, etc. So make sure you head on over to the website, www.vwfitness.club. I really appreciate you guys supporting the channel. I'm very excited for my top 5 of 2019. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you smash that thumbs up button, hit the subscribe and bell for notifications. And as always, we'll see you in the next one.